Say, Daddy plays video games.
Daddy plays video games.
Hey guys, this video is sponsored by GamesPlanet.com. They pass along this amazing key for me to use and make this video and others, and they're amazing. And they have a brand new discount on a brand new game. Check them out in the link in the description down below. No joke, these guys are super legit. They're not some shady key dealer like other websites that we will not mention. Legit keys, awesome prices. They take care of me, they'll take care of you. Enjoy the review. Hey guys, give it here with some thoughts and a review on Dishonored 2. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and deal breakers, as well as a final score. Let's talk about the good first, because there is actually a lot of good to talk about this game. Now, first off, I think it's a significant improvement on the original game. It sticks with the storyline, it folds in the DLC really well, and it just stays within the world. It does genuinely feel like you have just simply progressed in time in this same world, but then what they do is they open up the world for you to be able to go to places other than Dunwall. You can go to all these other cities and see the rest of the empire that you're a part of, which is really cool. And so along with that same feeling of Dishonored 1 is that the powers, they feel unique that you have, but they're similar at the same time. So what used to be, I'm playing as Emily, the female protagonist first, and so what used to be like a teleport behind somebody, it's this kind of odd, dark, like, you kind of, I don't know, you guys have seen it. It's a teleport, but it's not a teleport. So the powers, they do feel unique. You know, you have this sneaking power where you're like crawling around the ground and you kind of become the shadow, this shade, which is super cool. You have an ability to link people together, so you can link three guys together, and if you kill one person, the other two guys will die. Or if you knock out one person, the other two guys are knocked out. So the powers they're unique to Emily, but the feeling of using them is very similar to Dishonored 1, which is really well done. Now, what they have also done is they've removed a good portion of the linear aspect of the game. So in Dishonored 1, it was like, get to a place, mission, you have maybe 3 points of entry, or 2 or 4, whatever mission it is. You get in there, you get the mission done, you leave. You get in the next one, you get the mission done, you leave. Kind of like that standard, repertoire. But they have kind of opened the game up a little bit to where even getting through the cities that you're in, if you go a different way and maybe you hop into a building, you do find a side thing that kind of leads to something else. It's still rather linear, which is kind of the bad, but they have done a decent job with removing a decent amount of the linear aspect of the games. Now, also, I want to talk about the sound effects. Now, the sound effects are so good, and maybe it's because I have this, amazing SteelSeries headset, but I love the sound effects in this game. The sound of when you look through that wall and you just kind of utter that, I guess, occultic phrase. I don't know what she says, or just the gruesome sound of the kills, or the humming and the grunts from just the environments itself. Just the environments themselves. I think the sound effects have been really, really well done, and the animations, the kills, those are really gritty, and you feel like when you slice an arm off or take out an artery or put a knife through a skull. Such a loving game. It just feels really good. The other thing that is a little bit different from what I was just talking about, but another aspect of the game that I really love and I want to stick on point are the quick saves. And I know this might seem like a small thing, but hitting F5, the game really endorses trying and then trying again to like get the mission to where you want it to be. So if you're nervous about taking a guy out and you're like, I don't know if I could do this or not be seen, and you're peeking around a corner, and you're like, I don't know. You hit F5, you peek, you try. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you just hit F9 and you start over and you try a different route. And the load speed. So I hit F9 and I'm loaded back into my previous save in like probably about 3 seconds. I load back up. And I don't have an amazing computer. I don't have a dog, but I don't have an amazing computer, and I'm still able to do that. And so I really like that Dishonored 2 is endorsing everybody to kind of play the way they want. Do you want to play a no-kill route? Do you want to play completely sneak, like no one ever sees you? Do you want to, be kind of an assault murderous spree, which is what I'm doing? And whatever you want to do, it endorses it with the quick save and quick load. And then finally, the other good thing that it reminds me of is it really reminds me of my all-time favorite single-player game, which is BioShock Infinite. BioShock Infinite did a great job of having this really brutal, gritty story wrapped up in a very beautiful environment. And some could argue that Dunwall and Caracas and these places within Dishonored 2 might not be that beautiful, but they really are. And the castles that you go to and the cities that you go to and the skyline and the beautiful water, they do a great job having this beautiful environment juxtaposed against this very dark, gritty story. And they did the same thing in BioShock Infinite. And so much so that I'm getting pretty wrapped up in the story. Now, I can't play the game for like hours on end because when I'm sneaking, I'm like totally super tensed up, and so like after an hour and a half of playing the game, I'm like, whew, okay, I'm gonna go play something happy, or I'm gonna go watch Scrubs on Netflix or something, And so the game is super intense, and I think that's a mark of a very well done game. Now I'm gonna get to the bad, which I guess is there's I got 3 points here on the bad. I'm having a hard time finding a lot of bad things. I know, the internet, I'm using in quotation marks, is slamming the game for the optimization. I haven't been feeling that too hard. There's some breaks in the world, and I've had a couple times where like 2 walls will meet in the corner. There's doesn't look like it's meeting very well. And, I've had some frame lag with big vista scenes in the city, like when I'm in the city that's bright and it's sunshiny, and my PC's trying to render like everything at once. I have had some frame drops, but nothing to where it's like stopped me from being able to play the game. I've never once crashed. I've never been booted because of a scene. None of that's ever happened. So when I say not fully optimized, I know they're coming out with a patch to optimize it better. I've updated my drivers in the sense that I'm getting some pretty good frame drops when I probably shouldn't. I mean, that's there sometimes, but it's never stopped me to where like, oh my gosh, I don't want to play this game anymore, because it's never been that. So I say it's bad in the sense it's not fully optimized. I think it's just an area of opportunity for them to work. And then the other thing, I'd say the only other issue I would have with the game is kind of along the linear aspects I was talking about. So it's good that they've opened the world up for us to kind of play a lot more and see a lot more of the world that they've opened up for us. That's great. But the side quests don't really feel like side quests. It's still a lot of game to play, and I haven't beaten it yet, and I want to go back and play it again as Corvo. But in the game, the game gives you alternatives to taking people down. As an example is I'm on a quest to where I'm on a mission to where you can either go take this person down for yourself, or you can go talk to this one guy, he's a bishop, and utilize them to take him down. And so it's like, is this really, it doesn't really feel like a side quest. I was told by one guy, hey, if you have time, stop by this to see if this guy's still alive. Well, there's no incentive for me to do that. There's no incentivization to a side quest. And so I don't have a lot of time to play the game, and so I'm just getting through the primary quest because I want to see what the end of the game is like. And so yeah, there's still it's still a pretty linear game. It's not like an Assassin's Creed where you can kind of go anywhere and do everything. It's still a linear game, which I think that they would probably struggle to have a game as like Dishonored that doesn't have some linear aspect to it. But anyway, that would be the only thing I would say is a bad, is that it's, if you guys don't like linear games at all, if you want, I'm only open world games, that's all I play, then, you might have some issues. But they do a great job of opening the world up, but it's not like a 10 out of 10. It's not an open world game. It's still a Dishonored game. So yeah, there's the good. I guess my bads aren't so bad, which is probably why you'll hear the score that I'm giving it. Now, deal breakers, there's no deal breakers for me. There's nothing about this game where I've backed away from my computer going, F this game, I'm out of here. So that's all I'll say about that. And so finally, if I were to give a rating on this game, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The game's not perfect, but you know what? It's a ton of fun to play. Like I said, I get this pit in my stomach when I'm playing it because I don't want people to hear me because I'm a sneak. And so, it has a really good reaction, very quick on the reactions on the keyboard, on the mouse. Everything's very responsive. The kills feel very gritty. The optimization will happen, but I'm not snobby enough to shoot these guys in the leg because they're not completely perfect on a release. I think all in all, they made a really solid game, and it's very replayable, and I'm looking forward to to playing the game more and more. Like I said, I'm wanting to replay the game as Corvo and see how that is, because I do believe that you get to use Corvo's power, so you kind of have a different power set. You go through the game differently. I'm probably still going to go through the game as like a murderous wretch, but still, it's kind of funny. You go through this game as Emily, and this is not a spoiler, but if you decide to kill, or if you decide to, take a lot of people out, you have the little heart that shows you where like bone charms are, runes are, but it also will channel your mother kind of through that heart. So you hear your mom speaking, and she gives you like the biggest guilt trip ever if you're doing it. I'm like, I don't care. These guys are toast. Whatever. I have my own reasons. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to purchase the game, you can get it at a pretty sick discount. The link down below by GamesPlanet. They have provided the game, like I said here in the beginning of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.